Hi there. Since COVID swept the world 6 years ago, the use of the internet has really grown and grown and grown, almost until the whole system seems to groan under its weight. Well, not really. However, there is a huge demand now for people to be able to place things on the internet, the way I'm doing this now, making videos and placing them, or perhaps talking live to friends, groups, associations, on Zoom and other platforms, and wanting to come across reasonably well. There is a huge demand for this at the moment. Just as there's always been a huge demand for being able to speak in front of an audience, to being confident and competent in doing that, the same now applies to an equal measure, I should say, to people wanting to become good at presenting themselves and their subject matter on the internet. Now, so many things come into it. So many things. Let's have a look at some of them. How to speak clearly, how to announce your words, pitch, pace, pause, presentation, all of that type of thing. How to talk to a camera, how to be the right distance from it. How to improve your voice. How to be natural, how to come from the real self rather than an ego self. How to be authentic. Mostly, at least initially, how to speak with confidence. And then you've got to look at the other side of it. Why would people want to listen to you? And how can you reach the biggest market? How can you market yourself as a speaker, speaking, just doing, presenting on, say, YouTube or your own particular site? Why would they come to you? How can you provide value? Where do you come from? What do you know? Do you know things that other people feel that they need to know? One of them, of course, is what I'm doing now. Encouraging people to speak on video and hopefully showing them how to do it. Now, as for my credentials, well, I'm not a professor, I'm not a doctor, I'm not even a master of anything, except maybe that in being able to tell stories well. People called me a master storyteller over the last 15 or so years, but that's because I've been speaking to audiences, live audiences, in the same room, in the same auditorium, or whatever it might be, now for over 50 years. But as for speaking to audiences online, I started that only in 2013. But in that time, I have placed 2,400 plus videos, and a lot of people watch them. So I suppose I could say I'm reasonably good at it. Does it mean I'm a professional? Does it mean I earn money at it? No, it does not. It just means that I've acquired it through dint of experience. I talk on the subject of retirement, for example, but then I've lived through 31 years as a retiree. I'm now 90, and I left my paid employment at 59. But you don't want to listen about me so much as about what you can gain from the videos that I make on this channel, and that what my son makes on this channel, to enable you to become a really confident speaker in front of the camera. Camera Confidence, that's the name of our channel, Camera Confidence. And the idea is to bring you to that stage of confidence where you move beyond that. In other words, you become so confident that the next step is competence. And once you reach that stage, you'll reach a stage where you'll forget about how you seem to the audience and be able to put your real message out there. Come from the real self rather than worrying about how I'm looking. It takes a while, but it will come. I can recall, for example, the first time I spoke before a live audience many years ago, way back in 1972. I joined a Toastmasters club, Toastmasters International, a little club in Auckland, New Zealand called Takapuna Toastmasters Club, an all-male bastion in those days, because that's what it was like. I was so nervous that I sat in my car for 20 minutes plucking up courage to go into the venue. So you can imagine what I was like when I got up to do my first presentation. I can't remember a word I said. All I can remember is that I was trembling from head to foot and worrying about whether they could see me trembling. Now, when you're speaking in front of the camera like I'm doing now, you don't have to worry about that because you're not getting immediate audience feedback. You're not looking at other faces, worrying about whether they're disappointed, whether they're saying, oh, God, listen to this bloke. Because if you don't like the video you're making, you have the power. You can delete it. You can keep doing that particular video that you want to do 3 or 4 times, finding it's good enough and then putting it out there. Do not aim for the perfect video, the perfect, what you might say, opening, the perfect finish, the perfect content, the perfect transitioning from one point to another. Don't expect that. Just speak naturally as you would in a conversation with a friend, say across a coffee table. That's the way to do it. You're not trying to prove anything here. You're just coming from your heart, giving some advice perhaps on something you know a lot about, hoping that you can help other people, because that's what they want. They want to gain some sort of benefit from what you can tell them. If you can actually not just tell them, but move them emotionally so they make a decision in their own mind that they're going to take away and do something with what you've told them, well, that's going to bring them back many times to your site. I hope you got something out of this video.